Welcome to Soltron. This is a video review of my custom DX Riot Tega sword. So you can see this is what he looks like with all of his joints installed. So I gave him all the articulation. So he looks more like a mini claw figure. And I think he turned out pretty good. He's got some ugly looking ball joints, but what are you going to do? I think it's worth the trade-off. And then you can see him all posed up. And this is pretty good looking action shot. Alright, so let's take a look at him and see what posability he has. So he's got these ball joint elbows now. So he can also swivel his forearms. So he's got basically bicep swivel too. And then I did ball joint his shoulder pads just to get them out of the way so you can get his arms a little bit more forward. And then this still looks kind of goofy because his chest is just so large that his biceps can't really pass it. But you can use like this double joint shoulder that I put on the base Tegasword, so that can get past these shoulder pads a little bit more, so you can get something more natural looking. You can kind of position these so they can sort of make an X or a sword cross. And then of course I gave him the ball joint treatment that I did with all my DX Tegasword figures. So we've got yeah, really good articulation on the arms. That's not an issue. So we can get those out as much as possible, and we can just lower his shoulder pads. And then his head's looking a little awkward. That needs to be more in the center. There we go. And then he can do like a upward look. He could get kind of a downward. I haven't glued this together, of course, because I don't know. Sometimes I just don't do that till the very, very end. But he can get kind of a downward look. And then this just carries over all the articulation I had for the Tegasword to begin with, so he can do more than 90 in the knees. So we get kind of a jumping slash kind of pose. He's kind of, to be honest, kind of silly looking with his two weapons. His weapons just don't look very good, but I guess that's kind of just what you have to deal with. But I think you can get some decent looking posing out of him, especially if you move the shoulder pads out of the way. You can get him like doing this kind of thing, or maybe like doing that X cross. And then he's got these hip joints from the original Tegasword custom I did. And then it still bothers me that this is so hollow and gappy, but I just need another Tegasword to fix that up. And I've been checking and I just can't get one for cheap, unfortunately, especially now. They're very expensive. So hopefully I can find one that's broken someday and get a good price on it. Yeah, so I got these ball joints on the shoulders, and I was able to preserve all his electronics. So here's the switch. He still turns on. And everything still works. He's got the speaker in this shoulder. You can hear it, it's still working. And then he's got the batteries in this shoulder. So even though the wires are visible, everything still works, and you can press his hip, skirt. Everything's still fully functional. I have to admit, I kind of love the way this looks. The thighs really upset me, but if I get another Tegasword, I can make them a little less gappy, so that'll be good. So I'll go ahead and turn that off. So yeah, I was even able to preserve the electronics, so that feels pretty good. And then his shoulder pads, you can kind of like rock the shoulder back a little bit in kind of like a butterfly joint, and then you can move the shoulder pads back a little bit and just kind of make him look maybe a little more consistent. So even like the neutral poses, I have to admit, look pretty great on this guy. So yeah, I'm really into this look. He just looks kind of cool. Even though I still think this figure is kind of unnecessary. If you got the Orca booster, I don't think you really need to go out and get this guy, especially for his final form, which is very underwhelming. But oh yeah, and then of course he has the ball joint wings So we can get those up and just position in whatever way that like suits whatever pose he's doing. I like to just leave it back kind of like a cape. It gives him a little bit more bulk. But yeah, that's pretty much how he looks. So we'll try on some of his other accessories. All right, and here's the Riot Tegasword blue, or with the Leon Buster, and I like that his head crest can still fit on top because of the mod I did to this. So that's a pretty good look, and the blue is actually a pretty solid color match, so this actually looks like he's pretty consistent. So that's a pretty cool outfit. I like the way that one looks. And then you can raise up the shoulder pad and just get a little bit more articulation out of that buster. Yeah, that looks cool. And then you can use the double joint and just kind of bring this forward a little bit. The Leon Buster is very heavy, so he can barely lift it. But yeah, I think that's a pretty good look. All right, and there he is with the Tegasword black, or the, what is this, drill unicorn? I don't remember what this thing is called. So yeah, that looks pretty good. It's not bad at all. The unicorn arm definitely looks a little bit tiny with his frame, and then I did have to downgrade his arm to the regular Tegasword arm. So his arms are definitely a little bit spindly in this mode. We can see if we can get the centaur legs on him. Okay, and the answer is not really. His little blue piece right here actually blocks this from pegging in. I don't think it really matters because this doesn't really look that good, to be honest. His hind legs are even more spindly. It just doesn't really work proportionally with this figure. Alright, and here he is with the T-Rex hammer, and that actually, this kind of works for me. I don't know, I think the arms are just big enough that they help with the proportions, and I think these Riot Tegasword arms on the legs kind of just bulk him out. Unfortunately, there's no place. The reason this kind of sucks is there's just no place to put his chest shield. There's just nowhere for this to clip onto, so that's unfortunate. But I mean, this guy was just never meant to really do these things. Oh, I guess I could have made this cooler by putting in, I guess this is a missed opportunity. I didn't put in the rings in this chest. I guess that makes more sense. Yeah, this one kind of looks cool, actually, I have to admit. This is not a bad look at all. I'm actually very surprised by how epic this one looks. So, yeah, you can kind of get the modes going, but they just don't look all that great. And I think the Orca booster just does everything better than this guy. I like that it's got this ring motif. It's got this giant ring that goes in the back of the robot. You can store all the heads on it. I think he just works better. Of course, this guy is in no way compatible with the Riot Tegasword because like his chest armor replaces the chest, and then the leg armor gets in the way of this leg armor. So there's no way you can really combine these two. I guess I can get the ring in the back. Okay, how about this? Okay, so now he's got the Orca booster ring on his back. Okay, now I think he's starting to come together. I still don't know where green would go in this combination. I guess you'd just put his stupid arrow up here, and then you'd put the unicorn drill would go here, I guess. You just put that on his shoulder. Don't know if that'll still work now that I ball jointed these shoulders. It's going to make it kind of heavy. I guess you could just shove that there. Dang, this actually looks pretty cool, right? I think this is actually a pretty good mode. I did not expect to actually like this. This looks pretty good. Oh yeah, and I forgot I put these ports on the back of the ring so we can actually get the other limbs attached. He's now starting to get really back heavy. Alright, his poor hips. If only he had the Pegasus legs, or the unicorn legs. Okay, that's not bad, right? Is it just me? I think... Oh, well, alright. All right, so I guess technically I could have incorporated red and green into it. Oh, the Orca Booster's ring is still in here. But yeah, let's go over how this guy still transforms, because that was a pretty big piece of work as it stands. So of course you're just gonna pull out the head ring and you can see all the ball joints that are involved. And then I did tighten this up so that it slides. It's not as loose, so that feels much better. You just cover that up and then you just collapse the ring. And there's the ring, and I know it looks not very good, but that's because his chest is huge, so he needs this big neck joint to be able to look around. That's just because his chest sticks out this far. And then of course you're just going to pop off the whole Tegasword torso. You're going to pop off the legs, very easy. You just straighten out the hilt just like normal. You're going to lower these crossguard pieces, and then you just pop off the arms from the legs. Same thing on the other side, pop off the blades, get those ready, and then we just untab the legs as usual, or the feet, so get the boots taken care of. Alright, we're going to get Tegasword Red ready as well, because there's one more thing this guy can do that was kind of a secret surprise. So we got this hilt piece, so now we'll start working on the blade itself. We'll just straighten everything out like normal. Nothing changed here. I did put this ball joint in here. That's going to be important. This part usually goes in the bottom, but this can pop out also with a ball joint. So we'll see what that does in a minute. And then we just go ahead and straighten out this blade. Attach the two blades together, get the smaller blades and connect them in there. Okay, so we got all the blade handled, and then we're going to just pop that into place. I did have to cut the little pieces off of the foot pieces to make this fit, but we still got same looking blade as always. And then down here, these posts have been replaced with these sockets, and basically you just put the arms in. Normally you just pop those in. They kind of now that the arms are much longer, they're kind of ungainly, so they kind of stick out a little bit, but who cares? And there you have this thing, right? This sword. And now we've also got these gold bits, so this can actually peg into this right here. Oh, actually it goes this way. So this pegs in here, so you get this kind of thing. Where's the other one? Okay, and the other foot pegs in to the other port, and then you can just put the ring in here, of course. And then that enables you to now put Tegasword Red, can now put his feet in these stirrups, basically. And you can kind of get him in this like surfing pose on the sword. So now he's just kind of like riding on it. And I think that's pretty cool. I think it's better with one foot in the back and one foot in the back and one foot in the front, instead of having both feet parallel to each other. There you go. And now you can get him looking like this. So I think it looks cooler with this foot back here. I would peg this back here, but that would have to be pegged onto his hip skirt in the combined mode, and I don't really want to have that ball socket just hanging out there. But I think this is a pretty cool looking mode, and hopefully you agree. I think this kind of makes up for it. So I like to think of this set as basically it's just the Tegasword Red. Basically just combines with a gigantic sword. So that makes it pretty cool for me if he just has like this giant sword weapon, and then he can ride on it, and then it can become armor. I think that makes the set worthwhile for me, even though it costs a lot of money. And yeah, that's about it. So I was really happy to customize this. It's been a lot of fun, and hopefully you don't think I just wasted my money and destroyed this figure for no reason. But yeah, let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next one.